सुरुवातीला आपण ॲडिशन पॉलिमरायझेशनचा स्टडी करतोय. यस, द पॉलिमरायझेशन विच टेक्स प्लेस through the addition reaction means here number of small molecules, number of monomers, they adds together to form a long chain compound and that is called addition polymerization. यामध्ये पहिल्यांदा आपण फ्री रॅडिकल मेकॅनिझम बघतोय आणि तो आपण दोन एक्झाम्पल साठी स्टडी केलेला आहे. फर्स्ट वन इज द फ्री रॅडिकल पॉलिमरायझेशन ऑफ अल्कीन and second free radical polymerization for 1,3-butadiene. Now let us see second type. यामधला second mechanism आपण बघणार आहोत. Same addition polymerization but in presence of ion, that is called ionic polymerization. If addition polymerization takes place through the formation of ions as an intermediate, then it is called ionic polymerization. Here that polymerization is catalyzed by ion. Again, it is classified into two types. One is the cationic polymerization, means there should be formation of cation, therefore it is cationic polymerization, and second one is the anionic polymerization. Now let us see one by one. यामध्ये आपण दोन्ही टाइप्स डिटेल मध्ये डिस्कस करणार आहोत. यामधला फर्स्ट टाइप आपण बघूया. व्हॉट इज cationic polymerization? Simply we can say that if addition polymerization involve formation of cation, means formation of positively charged ion as an intermediate, then it is called cationic polymerization. Okay, when addition polymerization takes place through the formation of cation as an intermediate is called cationic polymerization. Okay, now here it is generally catalyzed by the acid, means it is always takes place in presence of acid like sulfuric acid, then Lewis acid catalyst like AlCl3, BF3, or in presence of HF also. Now let us see that polymerization takes place by using following steps. Means that mechanism involves main three steps. One is the chain initiation, chain propagation, and again termination. Now let us see how the cationic polymerization takes place through the different steps. First one is the chain initiation. Now let us see how that cationic polymerization occurs. Actually, suppose we are using sulfuric acid. We know that sulfuric acid dissociates and there is a formation of proton. There is a formation of proton and HSO4. Okay, any acid can be easily dissociated to form proton H plus ion. Okay, now that protons from the acid adds to the carbon double bond carbon of alkene to form carbocation as an intermediate. This is the chain initiation. The proton from the acid, let us see how that proton from the acid adds with the alkene. Again, I am taking the simple example of alkene, CH2 double bond CH2, and this is nothing but the ethene molecule. Okay, this is the ethene molecule. Now here that proton from the acid adds to the ethene molecule, and here how the reaction occurs. The pi bond between that two carbon atom undergo breaking and there is a formation of new bond between this carbon and hydrogen. हा कार्बन आणि हायड्रोजन यामध्ये नवीन बॉन्डचं फॉर्मेशन होतं. मीन्स there is CH3. Now there is single bond and CH2. Okay, here there is CH2, but that carbon now acquire positive charge. त्यावरती पॉझिटिव्ह चार्ज येतो because during that process electron pair goes away from that second carbon and there is a formation of carbocation as an intermediate. This is the chain initiation. Chain initiation, what is the chain initiation? Yes, proton from the acid adds to the carbon double bond carbon to form carbocation as an intermediate. Now let us see next step. In the chain propagation, what happens? That carbocation further react with the new molecule of ethene. त्याची रिएक्शन पुन्हा इथिनच्या नवीन मॉलिक्यूल बरोबर होते. इथे सुद्धा सेम टाइप ऑफ रिएक्शन ऑकर. मीन्स हियर दॅट पाई बॉन्ड अंडरगो ब्रेकिंग. या पाई बॉन्डचं ब्रेकिंग होतं अँड देर इज अ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ न्यू बॉन्ड बिटवीन दॅट टू कार्बन. इथं नवीन बॉन्ड तयार होतो वाईल दॅट सेकंड कार्बन ॲक्वायर पॉझिटिव्ह चार्ज. म्हणजे हा नवीन बॉन्ड असेल and second carbon having positive charge and thus there is a formation of new carbocation. This is the chain propagation. Now this new carbocation further react with another molecule of ethene अगेन सेम टाईप ऑफ रिॲक्शन इज देअर, म्हणजे इथला पाय बॉन्ड ब्रेक होतो आणि या कार्बन आणि यामध्ये नवीन बॉन्डचं फॉर्मेशन होतं आणि हा पुढचा कार्बनवरती पॉझिटिव्ह चार्ज येतो. सिमिलरली n नंबर ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल पार्टिसिपेट इन द रिॲक्शन, म्हणजे ही रिॲक्शन पुन्हा पुन्हा असं जे दाखवलेलं आहे सेम टाईप ऑफ रिॲक्शन ऑकर्स फॉर मेनी टाइम्स. Means n number of ethene molecule adds with the carbocation and there is a formation of long chain compound, and therefore I have written CH3 CH2 then CH2 CH2 in bracket. At the bottom of bracket there is n, means this unit is repeated for many times and punha CH2 CH2 and final carbon having positive charge. Okay, this is just a very large carbocation. This is very large carbocation and that step is called propagation. Okay, now let us see next step is the termination. Now what happens, that chain reactions are generally terminated by the loss of proton. Okay, means actually suppose this is our carbocation, this is our large carbocation. Now what happens, the proton, the hydrogen atom from the adjacent carbon, म्हणजे ज्या कार्बनवर पॉझिटिव्ह चार्ज आहे त्याच्या शेजारील ऍडजस्टंट कार्बनवरचा जो प्रोटॉन आहे, there is a loss of that adjacent proton, means bond between carbon and hydrogen undergo breaking. इथला बॉन्ड ब्रेक होतो and there is a formation of new bond between these two carbon. इथं पाय बॉन्ड तयार होतो. there is a loss of H plus ion, त्यामधून H plus ion बाहेर पडतोय. मी इथं H plus ion बाय प्रॉडक्ट दाखवलेला आहे and there is a formation of double bond between these two carbon and thus we get a long chain compound and that long chain compound is nothing but the polymer. त्याला आपण पॉलिमर असं म्हणतोय. ओके, दिस इज द चेन टर्मिनेशन. चेन टर्मिनेशन मध्ये जो कार्बोकॅटायन आहे, व्हेरी लार्ज कार्बोकॅटायन आहे, देर इज अ लॉस ऑफ प्रोटॉन फ्रॉम दॅट व्हेरी लार्ज कार्बोकॅटायन अँड दिस रिझल्ट्स इन द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ अ व्हेरी लॉंग चेन कंपाऊंड अँड दिस इज नथिंग बट द पॉलिमर. Okay, this is just about the termination of the chain by the loss of proton and formation of long chain compound. Okay, now let us see a second type. Second type is the anionic polymerization. Now what should be the anionic polymerization? Yes, in this addition polymerization there is a formation of anion as an intermediate. There is a formation of negatively charged ion as an intermediate. Then that process is called anionic polymerization. Generally that process is occurs in presence of strong base like sodium amide किंवा आपण त्याला सोडा अमाइड असं म्हणतो or potassium amide. Generally it is occurs in presence of very strong base like sodium amide or potassium amide. Okay, generally it occurs in three stages. One is the chain initiation, second is the propagation, and third one is the termination. Just like that cationic polymerization, it occurs in that three steps. First one is the initiation. Okay, generally we are using a very strong base, for example soda amide. That soda amide can be easily dissociated and there is formation of Na plus and NH2 minus. Actually that NH2 minus act as a nucleophile. Okay, it act as a anion. Now this anion, that nucleophile, that it attack on the carbon double bond carbon of alkene. It attack on the alkene and there is formation of just intermediate carbanion. Let us see how the carbanion is formed. Okay, I will repeat again. In the chain initiation, that soda amide first undergo dissociation. There is formation of NH2 minus. There is anion. This anion now attack on the alkene molecule. I have taken a simple example of alkene, CH2 double bond CH, and there is one PH at the end. PH means there is a phenyl group. There is benzene ring at the end, and that compound is called styrene. That molecule is called styrene. Okay, here that negative charge means electron pair. Now this electron pair form a bond with that carbon. हा NH2 आणि कार्बनच्या मध्ये नवीन बॉन्डचं फॉर्मेशन होतं. नाउ टू मेंटेन द व्हॅलन्सी, वन ऑफ द पाय बॉन्ड अंडरगो ब्रेकिंग, इलेक्ट्रॉन पेअर गोज ऑन द नेक्स्ट कार्बन while this carbon now acquire negative charge. म्हणजे ह्या NH2 मध्ये आणि कार्बन मध्ये नवीन बॉन्डचं फॉर्मेशन होतं while that carbon acquires negative charge. म्हणजे हा बघा नवीन बॉन्ड इथं तयार झाला while there is negative charge on the next carbon and thus there is formation of carbanion. This is the initiation, chain initiation. Okay, this is the first step. Now let us see second. Now this carbanion further adds to the new molecule of styrene. This is our carbanion, which is formed in the first step. Now it reacts with the new molecule of styrene. This is the new molecule of styrene. Now here also same type of addition occurs. Means how actually addition takes place? Yes, that carbon having negative charge means there is electron pair. Now this electron pair form a bond with that कार्बन या कार्बन बरोबर इथं बॉन्ड तयार होतो मीन्स देयर इज अ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ न्यू बॉन्ड हियर while that bi bond undergo breaking, electron pair goes on the next carbon, and now this carbon acquires negative charge. We get the intermediate. This is new bond, a navin bond, while this carbon having negative charge. Thus, there is a formation of new carbanion. We get the new carbanion. Okay, this is the chain propagation. Now, this new carbanion further react with the another molecule of styrene. Here, number of that styrene molecule takes part in the reaction. Okay, now here same type of reaction occurs. This negative charge form a bond with that carbon. Therefore, this pi bond undergo breaking. Electron pair goes on the next carbon, and in this way, number of styrene molecule adds with the carbanion. Same type of addition occurs, and we get a long chain molecule which having carbon, which having negative charge on the last carbon, and this is a very large carbanion. Okay, this process continuously that addition occurs, continuously that addition takes place until there is a formation of a very large carbanion, and this is the chain propagation. Okay, now let us see last step is the chain termination. Actually, this is our carbanion. This is our carbanion. Now, what happens here? This is very interesting step. What happens here? It undergo protonation. It undergo protonation. And that proton adds to that carbon which having negative charge. Negative charge ज्यावरती आहे त्या कार्बनला प्रोटॉनचे addition होते, and there is a formation of long chain compound. Now it do not having any charge, and that is nothing but our polymer.